Man, my name's Ramon. I'm an addict. I was low-key scared to come, because I knew they were gonna ask me. You know what I mean? I was thinking about this since I graduated. Like, damn, they're gonna make me go up there and talk. I was like right there shaving. Like, damn, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? But for to start off, I'm gonna just try my best. To give you guys a good message. Tell you about myself. I was born in East LA in General Hospital. Born 1999. I grew up. I was one of those that I moved around a lot growing up. We never stayed in one place too long. Because financial problems. My dad was an addict. My mother was an addict. So I lived like in South Central, HP, Compton. Like all over the place. So I never really stayed in one spot too long. So you know, like I said, my mother and father, they were addicts. I have, in total, we're 7 siblings. So it was really hard for my parents to kind of take care of all of us. So growing up, we're always less fortunate. I always used to be mad and angry because I see kids with all these other things. Christmas would come and they had brand new shoes. I got the new Xbox, or I got this game. And then I throw up a front like, oh yeah, I got it too, and I just had some busted down shacks, you know what I mean? And then, I mean, remember those, So, I never understood why, I lived the way I lived. And, I held a lot of resentment towards my family for that, because I didn't understand at the time, you know what I mean? Growing up, my family, they're all alcoholics. So they have this belief, if you give a kid alcohol when they're little, they're not gonna like it when they grow up. So they're giving me tequila and shit, you know what I mean? So like I as a kid, I was already like trying to sneak beers, and me and my cousin would be like, let's see how much we could get. I used to take bottles, not even knowing what they were, find cigarettes, weed on the floor, and then we'll go to the chicken coop and smoke it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm Mexican, we had those in the back, you know what I mean? So, we had a gang of them, so, that's how pretty much I grew up. A lot of my family, they're gang affiliated, so growing up, I always thought that I had to follow those footsteps, you know what I mean? I've always wanted to be like my dad. We're from the same neighborhood. I'm like a spitting image of him. And sad to say, he's still an addict, to this day. But growing up, my family, I was always that bad kid. As a little kid, I already had a hood name, you know what I mean? I was that kid named Pelon, you know what I mean? My family name, that's my family name. My mom calls me that to this day, my whole family, so, my dad used to bake my head as a kid. So it's like he was preparing me for the lifestyle I was gonna live, you know what I mean? So as a kid, he's just baking my hair, my little sister's like, Dad, I want it too. But she'd be like, what the fuck, you a girl. But yeah, that's how I grew up. I always thought I had to be like my family. They're always throwing block parties, people coming, and I always idolize that. I'd always be like, damn, I want to be like that. I want to have tattoos. I want to wear big clothes. I want to be known to everybody. I want everybody to know who I am and be scared of me. You know what I mean? And that's the lifestyle I went for. You know what I mean? I don't know anything else. I was always that little kid saying like, I'd rather be in jail than in school. Girls used to be like, oh, he's cute, and then my dad would be like, you're fucking stupid. But fast forward a little bit, my dad was always in and out of my life. He was always getting deported or always busted. So my mom, she took care of us a lot. Growing up, whenever that would happen, we're always struggling. Because my dad, he was always the one that stay-at-home dad, and my mom was always the one that was out there working, even though she was a immigrant from another country. You know what I mean? And well, yeah, damn, I lost my train of thought. But huh? Oh, mother was always working, but like when my dad would get busted, we'd always end up losing our little place, sleeping in vans. And it's kind of hard to think, it's 7 kids sleeping in one van. Like, those old Chevy vans, like 80 something, with the beds in the back. Like, that shit was tight. That shit was playing. But I would always be embarrassed when they picked me up from school. I thought it was cool, but then when they picked me up, I'd be like, oh, fuck. Like, I'd always wait in the back, for all the people to leave, and then I'll go run over there, have my dad pick me up, my mom pick me up, you know what I mean? And, I've always known I was different from everybody else, the way I dressed, you know, like I used to wear my dad's socks. They're literally all the way up here, you know, as a kid, you know what I mean? I was always that stinky kid in class, you know what I mean? Like, that was me. Liar. You know, I'm a natural sweater. What can I say? You know, look at this. You know what I mean? I just get nervous around crowds. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was me as a kid. You know, it's just like for me, it wasn't like something really bad happened to me to where it led me to drugs and alcohol and all these other things. You know, like it was a lifestyle. You know, it was around me. You know, I've always liked seeing my dad beat up my brother-in-laws or like my cousin's boyfriends. I thought it was cool as fuck. You know, I'll be little like, damn, I want to beat him up too. You know, because I've always thought that was cool. You know, like just the area I grew up in, the people around me. You know what I mean? Like my auntie used to tell me like he's gonna be a badass kid. Like he's gonna be bad. I'll be right there rocking different bandanas on the back of my shirt, my pants. You know, and as I got a little older, you know, I started kind of like I got into sports. I try to kind of like start, you know, I don't know, I just like sports, you know. I never really been too popular. I was always like to myself, you know what I mean? Because I knew I was different. So I never liked being around crowds. I was always that loner kid, you know. I was always alone. I only had like a selected few friends that I would kick it with, you know. And you know, yeah, as I went to high school, you know, junior high, um, you know, nobody really liked me in junior high, you know, because I have a lot of sisters, you know, I got five sisters, and one was a year older than me. So when I went to school, like I kicked it with my sister because I didn't know nobody. So like I was always with all the pretty girls, like you know, and then I was always awkward and shy, you know, like but I look like straight gang affiliated, you know, which is weird, you know, like you think that I'm gonna be out there like, you know, but nah, it's actually the opposite. I'm pretty shy, low key, you know, like I'm a shy person, you know, I'm a shy person. It's hard for me to keep a conversation going, you know, unless I really know you, you know what I mean? Like that's how I am. So you know, like yeah, junior high, nobody really liked me because they thought I was. I guess they got the impression that I thought I was all this and all that because I kicked it with all the females, you know. You know, so it started off bad. Like I got into a lot of fights. You know, got kicked out of the few districts. You know what I mean? And my cousin put me on with weed. You know, so I started smoking weed and started partying with them. I was like 13, 14, partying with my aunts and uncles. You know what I mean? Like they'll literally offer me beer. Like you know, they'll be like, "You drinking?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I drink." They'll be like, "All right, here." You know, boom, pop it for me, and I'm right there drinking. You know, but like I'll drink one, I'll wait a little bit, and then like a few hours later I'll drink another one. So they like that. My family, they're like, oh, that's what we like about you, you know, like you can manage your drinking, you know. And I think back on that, and that's like that was a good like advice, you know, to give a kid, you know, even to give a kid beer, you know what I mean? But even like me and my cousins around my age, I'm different, you know. I'm the one that went for this lifestyle, gang affiliated, you know, drug use, you know, like I grew up like in neighborhoods and stuff like that. And now my cousins are all like whitewashed, you know what I mean? Which is good for them, you know. It's good. It's a good thing, you know, that they didn't do what I was doing. So I was always that black sheep, you know, out of all my cousins. Still am to this day. So yeah, started getting, you know, started stealing cars. You know, I started doing a lot of bad things. You know, my mom was always at work. Like I didn't grow up in a bad home. You know, to be honest, think back on it, like, you know, I never really, you know, whatever my mom she was able to provide, she did. You know, it's not like I didn't have shoes. Like I had shoes. You know, maybe they're a little worn out. You know, but I still had shoes. You know, my cousins gave me hand me downs, so that's why I started dressing baggy. You know what I mean? You know, when mom, whenever she was able to provide, she will. You know, I'm pretty sure it was really hard for her, you know, by herself, you know, like not having papers, you know what I mean, and busting her ass off for seven fucking kids, you know, like sorry, you know, that's a lot of kids. You know what I mean? 3 minutes already? Damn. All right, let me fast forward, you know. Um, I went through a lot, you know, drugs, alcohol, and I was in the streets. I left my family, you know, because I've always felt ashamed for what I was doing. And you know, like you know, my life like went took a spiral, you know. I surrounded myself with certain friends that they're good people, you know, they just kicked it with the wrong crowd, you know, like we call them late bloomers, you know, people I started off late, but they just had bad company around them and it led them to what they're doing, you know. So I'd always try to take them under my wing and show them a different way. You know, it's sad to say that now like they're all either fighting life or they're dead, you know, and that took a toll on me too, you know. Um, you know, so yeah, just in and out, went to prison, came out, and like I was always distant. I would do like I was doing years at a time, and I'd come out and then not even know how to approach my family, not know how to talk to them because I've been gone so long. I left when my brother was little, and he's already taller than me. Like I was just like, fuck, like the time goes by. But long story short, my life became unmanageable, and I found myself in the streets, stealing tailgates, pallets, robbing the porta potties, you know what I mean? Hey, you get money like $400 or $500, but that's what I was doing, like that's how bad it was, you know what I mean? Like that's how really bad it was. And my brother-in-law was in the program, and he motivated me to come here, and I kept telling him no and no, and I ended up coming. I came and gave it a shot, because what else I got to lose? I didn't have nothing. I lost everything. I was by myself in the streets. My family split up, so I came into treatment, and I was actually started doing the letters, started accepting, like my character defects, you know what I mean? But I like what somebody said earlier. They said something about those were my ways of survival, in the streets. That's what we learned in the streets, to survive. So yeah, I was in the program for 2 months. I was very dedicated. I went to court. When I went to court, they put handcuffs on me, and I'm like, damn. So that you're good, you got the letter, you'll be straight. So I went to court, and then after they're like, my public defender's like, if they offer bail, you're fucked. If they don't, you're good. He's like, but you came for a program, most likely you're good. I was like, all right, cool. So as soon as it started, he's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna post bail for $55,000. I'm like, oh. Abel looked at me like I'm just like, ugh. Like that shit that made my heart sink, because growing up, like to me, that's the story of my life. Whenever something's going good, it's like somebody pulls a carpet from under me, and it's a fucked up feeling, when you don't got nothing to lean on, anything like to help you out in those certain situations, So like I was hurt, like I when that happened, I was kind of like, damn, like, you know what, like most likely I'm gonna get out. I had hope. So they pushed my court date sooner, Fred Brown, they did everything for me, like they did so much for me. Like nobody's ever done anything like that for me. My aunt's a paralegal. When I ask her to help me, she'll be like, oh, I only help innocent people. Like, what the fuck? What kind of shit is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I didn't do it, you know what I mean? So, nobody's ever done that for me. So, when the court date came, they didn't even talk to me. I didn't see the judge. They're just like, oh, Ramon, Carl, we got bad news. They're like, bad news is you're not going home. You're not going to the program, and we moved your court date to the end of this month. And then I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why? I'm in a program. I'm doing good. I've been there 2 months. And then they're like, sorry, that's all we can do. So I got mad, And when I got busted at that time, there's a lot of people that I ran into that I knew and I used to get high with in jail, Like, I swear, every place I landed in, there was somebody I knew that offered me drugs, and I was like, it took a lot for me to say no, you know what I mean? And, I try to stay positive and try to like, stay away from those people, I thought people were going to be like, oh, like this fool, like, man, this fool sucked, but they actually respected that, I was like, oh, I don't fuck around, They're like, oh, what'd you come here for? I was like, they refiled the case, Like I wasn't fucking up out there. I was doing good. I was in a program. I was in there banging Fred Brown, I was like, yeah, Fred Brown. I came for Fred Brown. That's just tight right there, I was like praising it, you know what I mean? But like when they told me I had to come back, like I kind of lost hope, I called my sister and I told her like, damn, like I just want to fucking you so bad, like this shit, the feeling was fucked up, like I thought like Fred Brown was gonna give up on me. I honestly did. And I was just like, damn, like, this is it. Like, fuck it. I'm going to just do my time and get out and just do what I got to do, Like, I'm going to just leave the program. And, my sister told me, she's like, nah, don't fuck it up. Like, that's God's way of testing you, Like, God's testing you and just don't do it. Don't give in. That's the devil. Don't give in. And that's what I did, and I just stayed to myself. I did my routine, did whatever I had to do, and later on that I went back to court. And they offered me, 2-year joint suspension and 6 months inpatient, 6 months out, So I was excited. I was happy. I didn't even know. When she told me that, I was just kind of like, what the fuck? And the homie's like, dude, take it. It's a good deal. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll sign right now. So I signed, and the next day I called my brother-in-law. He called Fred Brown, and they picked me up within like a day or two, you know, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for these rooms, for Roxy, for all the staff, you know, like they help me out so much, you know, and they give me hope, and you know, like I'm really positive about the like everything, you know what I mean? They really show me like the type of person I am, you know. You guys really made me, you know, like know myself, you know my character defects, you know, knows what I know what makes me sad, you know, like how I could get over that, you know, and now I know how to open up, talk to people, have empathy for people, you know what I mean? Because in the end of the day, we're all in the same boat, you know what I mean? So, you know, just thank you for everything you guys ever done for me. Thank you for your guys' shares, you know, and thank you for being a part of my journey, you know, and I plan to stay clean and sober, you know, for the rest of my life so I could be with my family and be a better role model to the people around me. Thank you for letting me share.